Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of YTKS, the Yak Tribe Kayak Show. My name is Heath. I'm the host of this show, and I'm so glad to be with you here today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for showing all the support that you have been, for all the comments and all the likes and the shares and for all those things, guys. Thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough. Guys, we've got some cool things to talk about today. This is part 2 of Q&A with me. I'm taking in questions from you guys from DM on Yak Tribe's Instagram, on my personal one, questions through the website, and on Twitter and Facebook. And so, guys, thank you for the questions, and we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. This is episode 7, part 2 of Q&A. And so I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you liked the last one. I hope they were informative, and I hope they offered some sort of value to you guys. And so I just want to also say before we get to this first question, guys, I'm not always right. I'm not right all the time. I'm probably wrong a lot of the times, but these are just my opinions. It's not truth. I'm just answering I'm answering the questions the best that I can. So let's hop right into it. This first one, and we have a lot of them today from Redfishology. Phil, my man Phil out of Louisiana, does a great job at asking questions, and so I've got a lot of his questions in on this episode. And so his first question is, when you're on the water, how much time do you take to just slow down and reflect on the beauty around you? And so Phil, to move past this question very quickly, it's most of the time, man. When I'm out in the water, like I said in the last episode, I'm there to de-stress. I'm there to connect with God. I'm there to reset my priorities. Those are my reasons why I kayak fish, outside of just loving to fish and loving to kayak fish. Man, I'm out there most of the time just looking around in awe. I mean, I'm absolutely just, I'm out there at peace, just having a good time in my mind and fishing. And so a lot of the times, I'm just thankful for being out there and to see the beauty and to slow down and to answer your question, it's basically most of the time, bro. And then outside of that, I'm just acting a fool. So let's move on to your next question, and it's, as a social media influencer, what do you do to keep focused on the things more valuable than likes and followers? And so, Phil, I want to say good for you already for acknowledging that there is something more than just likes and followers. Guys, there's so much more to social media and to life than just likes and followers. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that was a good look, adding that in there. And so I constantly try and reassess the type of content I'm putting out. You know, is that content true to me? And I have to ask why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so what's more valuable and what's most important to me is that I'm putting out content and I'm doing things, if it is on social media, that is true to Heath and true to what I love. And so that when people see me outside of influencing and outside of social media, they can still see the same Heath that they saw all along online. And so that's why I love going to events and just hanging with people, because you get to see the real person. You get to see the real, outside of social media. And here's what you find. Sometimes you find the guy that is this way on social media but super quiet in person and doesn't like to talk. Doesn't like to talk to you, doesn't like to be involved. And then you find the person that's actually very quiet online, and they are just in person just awesome, and you just love talking to them. They talk a lot, and you're having a great time, and you're like, I didn't even recognize you from online, and I didn't even recognize you. But then there's also a person who is just like they are online. They're like that in person. And so there's also a time and place to act a little rowdy, to be a little YouTubey. I get that, but I want to make sure that I'm staying true to myself. And so I'm constantly reassessing what I'm doing, what I'm putting out, and making sure that I'm true to me is more important than the likes and the comments, because all the likes and comments do is they signal to me that people are engage with my stuff, they like me or don't like me, whatever the case is. And I don't find my identity in social media. I don't find my identity in an online persona or as an influencer. My identity is Heath, and I'm not looking to be Heath, social media Heath, and then Heath. So though likes and comments, that's a good way to measure, how well your content is being received. I don't think it's an indicator to see how awesome you actually are or how good you're actually doing. And so, yes, it's a good measuring device at some point, but when you start looking and finding your value in the comments and likes, I think priorities get a little jacked up. And so I hope that answers that question. And so Again, we're going to get into other people's questions, but this is another one from Phil. And he says, what are your top 5 rules as a marketer? Okay, so here are my rules as a marketer. These are in no particular order. I have a lot of rules, but I guess to put them in, I guess to try and condense them, here they are. One, and not in a specific order. One is commit to learning full time. If you are going to be a marketer, you are saying that I am going to be committed to understanding, to following trends, to not following, but understanding them, to understand what's going on in the industry, not just what I'm focused on, but as a whole. You can't be a real good marketer. I'm not saying you have to be a professional in every part of marketing, whether it's, digital, technical, whether it's old school like TV ads or radio ads and things like that, things you can't track as good as you can, that you can with like online campaigns, or I'm just saying, or SEO or social media marketing or web development. As a marketer, you don't have to be able to do every one of those little things. I enjoy learning about and trying to do as much of those things as I can, but you don't have to be, but you need to be educated on what those things and what those components do. Just like if you were going to be a mechanic, you might not know how to rebuild an engine, but you might know how to hook up an engine to a body, to a frame, to a car, and to plug in the right things, and to know that the alternator does this and that the radiator does this and the battery supplies energy for this. And so you need to know, you might want a certain gear ratio here, but not when you put it on a truck or whatever the case is. Just like a mechanic needs to know those things. They might not know how to build those from scratch, but they know how it all works together. That is also the same and true when it comes to being a marketer. You have to be educated and understand these different things in different areas of marketing. And so committing to being a full-time learner is very important. Next, it would be hang around people smarter than you and contribute. And so what has made me, I don't want to say successful because that sounds like really cocky and arrogant, but I guess what has gotten me to this point in my life to where I'm doing a lot more marketing full-time, and I have clients, and and thank the Lord that I'm able to sustain myself and my family, and to really have a career in marketing, whether it's social media. I build websites, I code, I do social media marketing, I do search engine optimization. Those things are my forte. Those things are things that I can say with confidence I'm good at and sell a client and deliver on those things. But at the same time, I need to hang out with people that are smarter than me. It's not good to be the smartest person in the room. And so you need to hang out with people that can give you direction, that are very, very wise, that have been there and done that. Hang out with those people, and I think you will really benefit from that, but then also contribute to what it is, to the groups that you hang out in. Nobody likes a person that just takes, and takes. Alrighty, so my next piece of advice would be don't wait until it's perfect. If you wait until something is perfect to put out, you'll never put it out. When I made this shirt, obviously for print, I wanted to make sure that it was perfect, the best it could be. But when it comes to content and when it comes to putting a piece of material out, that's not going to be on a shirt, but it's going to be a piece of consumable content, like a video or a picture or a graphic or a status or whatever the case is, or a website, or launching an idea or launching a business or whatever the case is. So many people suffer and don't get what it is they need done because they wait until something is so perfect. And by that time, it's long gone. The train has passed. And so I'm big into get it out there, get it done, get that video done the best you can, but don't sit around and not put it out because it's not perfect, because you didn't get that perfect shot, because you didn't get that perfect person, because you didn't get that perfect thing. Now all of a sudden you're just going to wait and not do it. And so my advice would be don't always wait until something's super perfect. You're doing yourself a disservice by waiting until something, your idea, the graphic, the video, whatever, is so perfect that you never put it out, and then you never reap the reward for what that piece of content could have done. And so that's a third thing, again, in no specific order. Another one is outsource. I try and outsource what I can, so I can focus on what's most important. And so it's like this. Like, here's the struggle I have. I'm half Filipino, right? So I come from a family, my whole one side of my family, They are doers, they're workers, they're hard workers. I mean, they came to America and they absolutely killed it. Most of them own their own businesses, or they're doing well for themselves, and they're providing for their families, and they've done really well. And so, and I don't mean like rich, but I mean they've come over to America and they've got the American dream. And so they worked hard physically for all of those things. And so on one hand, I'm sitting here trying to do everything I can. I mean, I'm cutting the grass. I'm doing this. I'm doing every little graphic I can do. I'm putting every piece of code into the site that I can. I'm sitting here doing every little thing I can do, except for my grandmother on my mom's side. One day I called her and I said, "Hey, do you need your grass cut? I'm gonna come cut your grass. But do any of your neighbors need their grass cut?" Because I was always hustling. And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'll do it for $20, whoever needs a grass cut." And she was like, "Heath, at this time I had an internship. I was 15 years old, making $15 an hour, right? Or sorry, 16 years old, making $15 an hour." And so she said, "Heath, what are you doing? Why are you cutting grass? I mean, I get you need money, but you're going to get that $20 and you're going to buy something and you're going to break that $20 bill and it's going to be gone forever. What you need to do is you need to go back to your internship and you need to learn some more. And you need to actually learn and you need to try and make a little bit more money that way. You don't need to be out here cutting grass." I was like, Pfft. I went right back home and I cut someone else's grass. And so, but as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more and more deeper into doing this marketing and stuff like that, I outsource more. I'm trying to outsource more than I ever had. And so, yes, I can recreate logos and I can take old logos and digitize them and do that kind of thing. And so, before, a year ago, I would have sat at my computer. One of my clients now, they have an old logo that they needed remastered. And so I could have sat there and I could have outlined the whole thing and I could have redone the whole thing. But man, I just went to one of my contacts and I had them do it and I paid them to do it because there were other things that I needed to focus on that were way more pressing. And yes, it cost me some money, but it needed to be done. So I would say if you're at the point to where you are making some money and you are doing it and you're being a successful marketer and you have those fruits and that you're able to do that kind of thing, I would say outsource a little bit. Outsourcing is real strong. And so I guess last thing I would say is follow trends, but not all the time. It's important that you're educated. It's important that you follow, especially if you're web development, search engine marketing, social marketing, that you follow algorithm updates and trends and things like that, and you're educated in those things. And but as far as trends go, what's the coolest thing to do? What's the best way to get consumable content that's easily digestible by the end person watching it. What's the trend? Is it 30-second videos that just show off like a hook set? Is it following trends is important, but I would say not all the time. You need to move around and shift around and really take into account, is this who you are? Is this something that you want to do? Is being super YouTubey right now a trend? Should I be putting all my eggs in Facebook? Should I be doing on Instagram? Should I check out what should I be doing LinkedIn? And so I would say, trends are important, but they're just really indicators and measuring devices. And so you need to have that conversation with yourself and figure that out. But guys, actually I have this decal over here, and this is a saying that I go by a lot. It says, "Work, don't worry." And so when it comes to marketing, the best thing you can do is put in work. As a marketer, we're always wondering if what we're doing is going to work, if what we're doing is actually working, is it a good look, I got so much to do, and you get stressed out and all that kind of stuff. And so work, don't worry, that's a big saying that I have. I think I'm going to throw these decals on the Yak Tribe website because I put this on Instagram the other day and a bunch of people wanted them. And so I'm probably going to sell these on the site. I don't know yet. Most likely will, but work, don't worry, man. Work, don't worry. That's what you got to do. And so moving on, at A_real_lady. Her son Ryker. And Ryker, thank you so much for listening to the show. And Wendy, thank you so much for having your son listen to the show. I'm glad that it's valuable enough that you would have your son listen to it. It means the world to me. He says, would like to know how you got started kayak fishing and do your boys like fishing with you? Well, my sons love to fish with me. Kayak fishing is a different story. Rylan is finally 5 years old, and he's at the age to where he's a lot more interested in it. Before, he just likes to play in it, but then getting out in the water, he doesn't really want to be out there as long as I want to be out there. And so that's the case with most kids. But I'm doing my best to get them out more and more on the water and more comfortable with it. And so I'll be getting a few more kayaks soon so that the family can go out together. And so, but how did I get started kayak fishing? I actually used to go out with my dad. Me and my dad would go out in this tandem Lifetime kayak. It was yellow, just like my kayak is today. And we would go out and we would go to the bridges and we would scrape off some barnacles and sheep's head food and stuff like that, let that fall into the water, and then we would put dead shrimp on the bottom or the actual barnacles themselves on the bottom. And we would just catch sheep's head, and we would just take those home and fry them up, and that's how I got started kayak fishing. And then I really got into kayak fishing probably in 2014. Yeah, 2014 I really started getting into it, where I got a Lifetime kayak, single-person kayak, had some rod holders. No, didn't even have rod holders installed. It was like $150 from Sports Authority, and then I upgraded from that to a, oh man, it was like a Talent. No, it was a oh man, I don't even remember, but I got it from Dick's Sporting Goods, and that one actually had rod holders, and from there I went to Hobie Outback, and so that was my progression. But yeah, I started with my dad. That's how it started. Let's move on to Jay Ferris Fishing. This is John over at Nautical Ventures. Just got to hang out with him at Ride the Bull. It's great to see you, bro. So good to catch up as always. And he says filming versus fishing. Being in the moment versus capturing it, I found that to be a struggle in my first attempt at Ride the Bull. And so obviously you saw that struggle yourself, but I had the same struggle. Do I film the event? Do I get on chase boats and film, or do I fish it? And even when I'm out on the water, do I film? Do I fish? Do I do it simultaneously? Well, if I'm focusing on filming, then I'm really not fishing, but I didn't get that hook set on the film, and so that didn't really make the video, and now my whole day was trashed. I went out for fishing for nothing, and now I didn't even get the picture. I didn't even get the money shot. Oh, man. And so, there's a very fine line between letting filming mess with your fishing. And so you need to ask the question, what do you like more? Do you like fishing, or do you like videography? Do you like fishing, or do you like photography? And so those two worlds can mesh, absolutely, but you have to figure out, what do you like more? If you're a fisherman and secondary you're a videographer or photographer, then I would say fish, and if you don't capture it, that's fine, but don't let filming, a lot of days we have these GoPros and we have everything that we have, but I would say don't let that stuff interfere with your fishing. Just because you don't get the money shot doesn't mean the day was ruined. And I used to feel like that when I first got my GoPro. I started filming, and then like one day I caught an awesome redfish, got pictures, it was great. But then when I didn't have a sleigh day, I felt like the day was useless. Like there was no point. Like it was a fail. Even though I was on the water, not at work, I was fishing, having a good time. Because I didn't get the video, it was a fail. And so that's when I had to reprioritize. I was like, hold on a second. Yes, I love pictures, but I love fishing. And so nowadays, I don't even have that many videos, recent videos of fishing, because, man, I've been going out fishing and just taking a picture when I catch a fish, And so you really have to struggle with that and figure out. Here's what I would say. You can get better. I can get better. I did get better at knowing when to turn the GoPro on and knowing when to not. And so a lot of people just let their GoPro run all the time. When I feel like I'm in a fishy area and things are about to go down, I click on the front GoPro, I click on my action hat, and it's game on. And so know when to turn it on and know when to turn it off. Don't just film all the time, because then you're just overwhelmed. You consume battery, you consume your memory card, and then all of a sudden you're messing around with your batteries. And just already have the story played out in your mind and then go do it. And so that way, when I make videos, I'm actually on a real timeline of from beginning to end, and I'm not trying to piece together things the way that they didn't happen in the right order. I'm filming throughout the day, but I know when to turn it on, and when to cut it off. And so, you just have to figure out that process yourself and do that. And so, at Bass Thumbs Fishing says, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on motor versus pedal on a kayak? And so, I do not want to get into a rant here, but I do want to say, I really don't have thoughts on this, man. Are you a fisherman first, or are you a kayaker? Just like the video thing, video versus fishing. And so there's a lot of debates going out there. You have paddle purists. You have people that say, I will never put a pedal drive. I'll never get one with the pedal drive. And you see them with the pedal drive later. Or you say, I'll never get with the pedal drive. But then they're serious about that. You'll never see them in a pedal drive. They will be on that paddle craft forever, which is awesome because you are not them. They are them. And so if they want to paddle, they can paddle. You are not the guy that puts a trolling motor on your kayak. So don't get furious and frustrated about that guy. That's not you. They're them. And so I would say, are you a kayaker or are you a fisherman? Or are you a kayak fisherman? Right? I really don't like to get on the debate of like, because you have a motor, then you're not a kayaker. Or because you have pedal drives, you're not a real kayaker. You really want to separate yourself from the two. And there's a difference between a kayaker and a peddler fisherman or whatever the case is. I don't know. Man, look, if you're out there fishing and you're on a kayak, whether you have a paddle, a pedal, or a trolling motor, I honestly don't care. You just have to figure out what is it that you love doing. Does it really matter? I get that when it comes to tournament fishing, people then, there's a case for that. Like, should there be trolling motors allowed in a tournament that there are paddlers? I know paddlers that would say they have a disadvantage because, they spook fish or whatever the case is. But then I know other people that say, you can really make a case for anything, really. And so you just need to let me answer that question. When it comes to kayak tournaments, should motors be allowed? Should they not be allowed? I would say if they are allowed, there should be a requirement on how much horsepower or thrust the trolling motor has. And so you have the option to then use one yourself. There are people that want to be in a kayak that have muscle fatigue and that maybe can't use their arms as well and cannot paddle, and by the time they get to the spot they're not good at fishing, but they love kayak fishing. And so I would say let them have a trolling motor, let them have a pedal drive. I don't know, you know what I mean? We already crossed the line when we started putting pedals in our kayaks, and so if we're allowing pedals in our kayaks and we're just saying allow a 30-pound thrust trolling motor on our kayak, I would say, I don't know, let it happen. But then, the people who want to stick to their paddle, you made the decision to stick to your paddle, so stick to your paddle and go catch fish and slay it and throw it in everybody's faces who's using a motor. But honestly, I really don't care. Use a motor, don't use a motor, use a pedal, don't use a pedal. Just do you and make sure you're doing what you love. Focus on you. Don't be looking around all this other stuff. And so, alrighty, Phil from Louisiana again, at Redfishology, says, what is the vision/mission of Yak Tribe? It's the same. It'll always be the same. It's real people, real stories, real connection. It's making sure that we talk about people, that we are focused on relationships with people, that we're not just focused on selling people a shirt and selling people a hat so they look good on the water. It's about people. And so that's why my wife and I, we went and lived on the road for close to 3 years in our RV, and we just went from state to state, shop to shop, community to community, having grill outs, little fun tournaments, hanging out, because it's about the people, man. I think that's what's going to sustain our community, is knowing the people, getting involved. Relationships have been built because of Yak Tribe. I don't even know all the friendships, but now they're best friends, people that met through the Instagram, that met through the database on our website, and so they're out doing life together, and they're best friends now, and their families go on little vacations, and I think that is awesome. And so that is the reason why we exist, is to develop relationships with real people, have real stories, and have real connections, not just like, what's up, thanks for commenting on my Instagram post. No, I'm talking about a real connection. Like, where do you live, man? Y'all trying to fish? What's going on? Oh man, I'm sorry that happened to your family. How can I help? That kind of thing. And so, hope that answers your question. The last question we have for the show is by somebody named, they are at Cerapex, Cerapex. Okay, he says, this is a long one, so stick with me, and then this is going to be the end. It says, I just recently started my journey on the entrepreneurial path and have had minimal interaction with well-established and successful influencers/industry professionals such as yourself on social media. First of all, thank you for that compliment, but I'm just a regular dude. I really appreciate you. I've had opportunities at local events and tournaments to meet similar individuals in person, but have always hesitated to approach them because of a fear that any friendly approach may be interpreted as disingenuous. Good observation. My question would be, do most angling personalities such as yourself tend to approach other up-and-coming people with caution because of their ever-looming possibility of a plea for a shout-out or an awkward proposition for a collab? Or am I clear to pursue personal relationships with folks without being treated warily like someone might treat a solicitor? Okay, that's a great question. I understand what you're saying, and I'm envisioning this happening. You're at a place and you see somebody who in your eyes, they are at this level. Okay, you might see yourself here, they're kind of right here. And so you're saying, is it okay if I walk up to that person and you're like, what's up? I'm Jeff. Just wanted to be friends. What's up? Okay, I understand what you're saying, but first I would say this: these people are just people. Yes, some influencing personalities are turds. I get it. Some of them are they're unapproachable. I get that. But for the most part, they're people. They're people just like me and you. They have families, they have friends, they love what they're doing, and they are just that. They are people, and you should see them as just people. Just like you see me, I appreciate the compliment that you said about established, successful, influencer, a professional in this industry. Thank you so much for that compliment. I would say I'm not all those things, but you see me that way. But I want you to see me. I'm just a person. I am Heath. I have a job. This is what I do. I have a family. I have real things in my life. And so you might see me here, but I'm on the same level as you, and most of these people are. You don't know these other areas of their life where they're here and you're here. You're just looking at them through the lens of fishing, and so I understand that. And you're going down this path of wanting to be an influencer in our industry, and I totally understand all those things put together. And so what I would say is see them as a person. Now you have to look at the approach. These guys get bombarded every single day with ideas and with things and with propositions and with collabs. And so when you walk up to a person who doesn't know you and you're like, what's up, trying to be on my YouTube channel? They're going to be like, who is this guy? And okay, now you're just annoying. I'm not saying this is me. I'm not saying this is anybody. I'm just walking through the scenario. But if you walk up to them and you're just like, what's up, trying to be on my YouTube channel? It's going to be like, who? First of all, my name is Jeff. How are you? And be like, okay. There's a way to go about doing it. And so if you are coming at them and you're just like, hey, here's what I want to be your friend. And also, I want these things from you. I'd like to do collabs. I'd like to be your friend because you have a lot to offer. You're very valuable in this industry. I'm going down the same path that you are. You started here at some point, so let me into the circle. If you come off very needy, that is going to make them want to leave you in the dust, even if they're the nicest person in the world, because they have so much going on that they don't have time to start from ground zero and to then bring you along to where they're at. They're looking to build relationships with people that are helping themselves. And so there's a right way and a wrong way to approach these people. They're not unapproachable. Honestly, they like being approached and they like talking. But here's my piece of advice. You need to approach them and contribute. So if you're going up to somebody that is obviously, maybe they're smarter than you, or maybe they're at a different level than you, or they're higher, or whatever the case is, I've learned this in my life. I've gone to lunch with people way smarter, way, super rich, whatever the case is, and I'm sitting there asking them questions. Hey, so what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Hey, where do you think I should go to learn more about this? Where do you think? And they're answering my questions. And then all of a sudden, the lunch is over, I leave, and then I just get this weird feeling like I didn't even let them talk. Oh my goodness, I just talk. I am such an idiot, right? And so you have to be careful. A smart person would go into that conversation and they might ask a question, but they would listen and they would let that person talk. When you come off very needy, that makes them not want to work with you because they have a lot of needy people in their life already. But if you come at them at the angle and you come out there and you compliment, you say, hey, you're doing such a great job. Thank you for all you do. First of all, my name is Jeff, and thank you for all the content and the advice, and I'm a big watcher. I'm a consumer of your content, and so I just want to come up, say thank you very much. I follow you on social media. hey man, if there's anything I can ever do for you, maybe these are my areas that I excel at. I would love to be able to contribute if you ever need me whatsoever. And so that has always been my approach. Let me give you an example. Vance from Line Cutters. My first engagement with him was just saying how proud I was to be a follower, how thankful I am for the type of content he puts out, for the advice he puts out for entrepreneurs. Rex Del Rey, he's one of my best friends now, and the way I approached him was saying, Rex, I love how real your content is, man. Thanks for putting that out. I never ask for anything. I just try and contribute a compliment, contribute something tangible, send them a thank you, send them a note. I do those things that will make a real impact and make them remember me. And so when they remember me, my then next goal is to become invaluable. And so I try and offer value and try and show them that I can be part of what they got going on and I can contribute. And so that is my suggestion and my advice to you. If you're looking to approach these people, you're going to find it time and time again. If you come off needy and you come off with not trying to help yourself and you come off that kind of way, you're going to strike out with these people, and you need to hang around with people that are smarter than you, and you need to hang around with people that are already above the level that you're at. I keep people in my life. I try and stay the dumbest person in the room. I need friends that are smarter than me. If I'm the light of the room all the time and the super smart one and the one who knows everything about everything, I'm not progressing. I'm not learning. And so my goal is to constantly find people that are smarter than me and then try and contribute to their life so then I can learn something new. Oh, that's how you did that. Oh, that's who you go to. Oh, that's how you run that. Oh, that's what you incorporated. And that's my strategy. And so I hope that helped. Well, guys, that's the end of our show of this Q&A part 2. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Guys, please share it. Give it a share. Send it to somebody I messaged. Send it to somebody that needs to hear it. Send it to somebody that maybe a question I answered, they need to hear it in their life as well. Guys, I'm so thankful for you guys sticking around and to listening to what it is I have to say. I'm wrong a lot of the times, but guys, I'm thankful for the fact that you're here listening, taking in this content, and following and subscribing and doing what it is you do. Thank you so much. Leave a comment on this video. Let me know you were here. Let me know you were engaged, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you find it, Instagram. Leave me a comment. Let me know you were engaged. I'll get you entered in to win some swag and things like that. We got some great things to give away up here coming soon. And so, guys, this is the end of episode 7, Q&A part 2. Here with me, and so I think I'm going to do these more often if you guys will let me. So, guys, our episodes drop every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you guys next Monday.